What's up guys, it's Zero here. Today we're talking about Gears of War E-Day and we're taking a deep dive into this title. So let's get into it. So guys, the highly anticipated Gears of War E-Day is coming at some point in the future. We know that it's at some point, guys, going to release to the world and we are all incredibly excited about it. And so I want to take this opportunity to do a deep dive into this game from the release date to the lore, the multiplayer, co-op. We want to talk about everything Gears of War E-Day, give you guys some insight into what it all means. So with that down and out of the way, let's talk about the release date, shall we? So guys, I think it's really important that when we talk about, Gears of War E-Day and just everything Gears, I believe that we're going to be getting an official announcement for the release date because we do not have it at this point in time. I believe we're going to be hearing about it at the Xbox Summer Showcase, which is going to be more than likely in June or July. They have not announced it at this point, but we will be sure to keep you guys all up to speed as more information comes out about that. I believe that Gears of War is going to have a heavy presence at the Xbox Game Showcase. I believe that they are going to be announcing the Gears of War collection, and I think they're going to be giving us a release date for Gears of War E-Day. And if they don't give us an exact release date, I believe that they are going to give us a release year for Gears of War E-Day, which I believe is going to be coming out in the fall of 2026. Because I believe, guys, that with the Gears of War collection being rumored to being in development, I do believe that the Gears of War collection is being made or is pretty close to being done at this point, because I believe what they're going to do, that being Xbox, I believe that they're going to announce the Gears of War collection, and it very well could be available the same day that it gets announced or shortly after, maybe like a month after they announce it at the Xbox Game Showcase, it becomes available to the entire world, that being the Gears of War collection, which is going to be a remaster, essentially, of the original trilogy, Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. A Marcus Fenix-esque collection is what everyone's kind of talking about. And so I think that that is going to be something that's going to quench everybody's thirst for Gears of War before Gears of War E-Day comes out in 2026. And I believe that it's going to be coming out, that being E-Day, Halloween of 2026 sounds like the best time for them to bring this game out. It builds up a ton of hype from the Gears of War collection, and you have, over a year before Gears of War E-Day makes its way into the world. And so I'm really excited, guys, not only that Gears of War is back, but what could be coming in the pipeline, that being the Gears of War collection potentially, and who knows what other things they're working on over at the Coalition. There's some real excitement here for, just Gears of War, and we're going to be covering it all here on the YouTube channel. So the Gears of War collection, guys, I believe should be coming out summer of 2025. It should not come out in the fall just because of all the big titles that are coming out this fall, that being like Borderlands 4, more than likely a new Call of Duty. Of course, the biggest game that's going to be out is going to be GTA 6, more than likely, unless it gets pushed back to 2026. But if everything goes according to plan, I would assume that GTA 6 will make its presence known in 2025, which would not be a good time to release the Gears of War collection. I think they need to stay ahead of it, release the Gears of War collection in the summer, like June or July of this summer, build up hype all the way to Gears of War E-Day, October of 2026. That leads me to the second part of this. Let's talk about the Gears of War E-Day story, shall we? So the story, as far as what we know at this current point in time, guys, is 6 weeks after the end of the Pendulum Wars, the humans of Sarah are attacked by a new subterranean threat called the Locust Horde. Sergeant Marcus Fenix and Corporal Dominic Santiago, war heroes of the Pendulum Wars and childhood friends, fight together against the new threat on what would later be known as Emergence Day, the beginning of the Locust War. And by the way, guys, I would love to see them do a story at some point of the Pendulum Wars. I think that would be really interesting to see, like, just kind of going back in that time period as well. That's been another game that a lot of people within the Gears of War fan base would love to see kind of a emphasis on, that being the Pendulum Wars. E-Day is considered a mainline series entry. The story is told from Marcus's perspective. The game is an origin story for the duo in that by this point in the timeline, while the two are familiar with each other, they are in the early stages of their friendship, each still grieving over the loss of Dom's brother, Carlos. The two are depicted as different individuals from their personas in the first game. This includes their more normal human proportions. The game story begins on the titular E-Day and takes place over a number of days. And so really exciting stuff, guys. Obviously, E-Day is the 8th game in the Gears of War franchise. It's crazy to think, guys, that there's been 8 games at this point in the Gears of War franchise. I remember playing the original Gears of War on the Xbox 360. It actually came with my 360 when I purchased it one summer. And man, I just haven't looked back. I absolutely love Gears of War as a whole. And so that being said, though, this game is a prequel that takes place on Emergence Day. It's actually 14 years before the first game. So obviously, the Locust Horde, they emerge on the surface of Sarah to begin their war against humanity. And of course, we're taking the reins once again, or taking that Lancer with Marcus Fenix, and then of course, Dominic Santiago alongside us to fight to protect the civilians. Super exciting stuff, guys, about the story. And so that leads me into number 3. Let's talk about the multiplayer. And this is really interesting, guys, because there's been a lot of talk, a lot of rumblings about what's going on with Gears of War E-Day, because the Gears of War collection is rumored to not have multiplayer. And there's also rumors that it's not going to have co-op either, which a lot of people are asking the question, well, if the collection doesn't have multiplayer and it doesn't have co-op, or one or the other, will E-Day have multiplayer or co-op or both? And so we did get an interview from Windows Central. The Coalition's creative director, Matt Searcy, was asked about the possibility of multiplayer returning to Gears of War E-Day. After all, of course, guys, it's been a staple of the franchise since its inception, but it wasn't featured at Gears of War E-Day's reveal at the Xbox Game Showcase. So here's what he said. He said, I would say this is the next mainline Gears game. Gears has a pretty clear DNA for gameplay modes, so you can probably anticipate where we'll be going with E-Day. There you have it, guys. I think that he's, not fully confirming it, but he's basically saying that there is a DNA of gameplay modes. And so the fact of the matter is that if they're going to, follow that DNA, Gears of War will absolutely have multiplayer in Gears of War E-Day. Now, I believe that they do need a multiplayer with the collection to continue to build hype, because think of it like this. You've got a bunch of new people that are more than likely going to be coming into the fray, into the Gears of War, franchise with Gears of War's collection, because it's reportedly going to be on PlayStation as well as Xbox. So if you have all these new people coming in, playing Gears of War's collection, and all they're playing are the campaigns, they may not even know about the multiplayer. And so I think it's important that they have a Gears of War collection multiplayer. Don't separate it from, Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, where there's a multiplayer for each game. Make it a Gears of War collection multiplayer where the best modes, the best maps from the first 3 games, best characters, are all in the Gears of War collection multiplayer, where you can at least play, whether you're new to the franchise or you're a returning player. I think it'll be really important to build that hype for Gears of War E-Day. The same thing can be said for the co-op modes. And this leads me, guys, into this next thing. There's been really no talk about, co-op, whether that's Horde mode, whether it's Beast mode, whether it's Hive Busters. There hasn't been much talk about it. Now, if we go back to what Matt Searcy said, he says that the next mainline, Gears game, this has a pretty clear DNA in terms of gameplay modes. And so you can probably anticipate where we'll be going with E-Day. And so more than likely, we're going to be getting Horde mode. Now, are we going to be getting Hive Busters? Are we going to be getting Beast mode, or all these different modes? What I'm hoping for, guys, is obviously Horde mode is a cult classic for Gears of War as a franchise. So I believe that Horde mode absolutely needs to play a part in Gears of War E-Day. But I believe Actually, they should bring back Beast Mode. Beast Mode was really a cool concept where you play as the Locust Horde, kind of like a role reversal within like Horde mode where you're playing as the Locust, and it was really, really fascinating. I loved Beast Mode in Gears of War 3. I would love to see a return to that here with Gears of War E-Day. So I think from, what Matt Searcy is saying, I think that it's reasonable to expect we'll be able to not only get multiplayer or expect multiplayer out of E-Day, but also those core, co-op modes like Horde mode, potentially Hive Busters, potentially Beast mode. And so I think as an entire package, Gears of War E-Day, it's sounding like it's going to kind of continue the same formula of having a full package, that being multiplayer, campaign, and co-op modes that create this entire package that makes Gears of War one of the most beloved games, within, just the history of gaming. And so I'm really, really excited to see what they end up doing here, and I believe that we're going to be getting more information about Gears of War E-Day at the Summer Games Showcase. I am so excited, guys, about the future of this franchise. There is so much excitement and hype, and we are going to be consistently doing our part to create Gears of War content for all of you. This channel is fully now a Gears of War channel. We started off as a StarCraft 2 channel, and then we transitioned into talking about a variety of different games, and now we are fully focused on Gears of War and Gears of War only, because I believe, guys, that Gears of War, there isn't enough content that's coming out about this, upcoming title, about this franchise as a whole, and I want to play my part in it because this is one of my favorite, games, favorite franchises of all time. I believe that Gears of War deserves to get continuations into the future, and it's not going to happen unless there's, content creators, unless there's streamers, unless there is a massive following of people that want to play this game and want to be a part of this legacy that is Gears of War. And I think the only way that we continue to build this franchise is, obviously, part of it has to be on the Coalition doing their part, making Gears of War accessible to more people than ever, that being like, adding PlayStation players to Gears of War's franchise, having Xbox users, obviously, but having, expanding it, right, where it's going to be cross-platform and all of those things where more people than ever get to experience Gears of War. It's one of the most beloved games in Xbox's, history, and I believe that everyone should have a chance to be able to play it. But let me know, guys, what do you all think about Gears of War E-Day, the things that we know so far? What are you excited about? What are you concerned about? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears of War E-Day content and videos, keep it right here.